Alright, so now let's modify this button. Let's modify it in such a way that we can do the needful. So I have a button. Let's use the one which is at which we are using from pin number 13. That means we can have a look at the pin configuration once again from the same diagram that we saw from that reference in Google. So we can just go on there, and from this particular reference, we're just gonna have a look once again. And let's say we are using these two pins, that is 13 and 15. So 22, we can use pin number GPIO 22 or GPIO 27. Those are the two pins that we need to use. 22 and 27. Of course, we need to comment them out just to remember. So we're going to use 22, and let's say the button at 22, we're going to say button 1. Now, what we can do is we can use different methods of the button. So you can have a look at the documentation. So documentation says you can have a look at the documentation where you can go on to the the documentation, that is GPIO 0 documentation. So you can have the documentation in the PDF also, where you have the basic recipes, and then you have, so over here you use from import button of 2, and we can do that. So here you have again the pin numbering. Okay, so you use the LED. Now LED, if you want variable brightness, this is what you do using, you can import a PWM LED. But for now, let's have a look at the button. So the button is connected to ground. You can say over here, say button of 2 they have taken, we can take that. Here we need to say while true if button dot is pressed. So this is the method, is pressed. I can say button is pressed. Else print button is not pressed. Right? So I can say here button 1 dot while true, I can just say while true button 1 if button 1 dot is underscore pressed. I can say, so is it a method? Have a look at the documentation again. Is it a method? It is not a method, whereas wait for press is a method. So dot is pressed, so I just need to say print button is pressed, right? Else I can print button is not pressed. So this is something which we can very well do. So I'm going to run this out, and you can have a look. I'm going to press the button. Oh, it's saying button is not pressed, but the minute I press it, it says button is pressed. Button is not pressed, button is pressed, button is not pressed. So this is something which we need to do. If you do not want anything to be printed when button is not pressed, I don't need to write that. So only if the button is pressed, it will get printed. If not, nothing will happen. The minute I press, button is pressed. When I don't press, nothing's going to happen. Button is pressed. So what I want to do, let's say for example, so if I say if button 1 dot is pressed, what I can do is I can say LED dot on, right? And if I say else LED dot off. So now I'm controlling my LED using the button. So now when I press, oh, I can see that happening. The button is the LED, it's controlling the LED. So this is something which you can do it. You can see if you want to see the output. I'm going to show that to you in the next in the next video. You can just have a look at that, right? Okay. So as you can see, the output when I press the button, the LED is on. When I leave it, it's off. When I press it again, on. When I leave it, press, on, leave it. So that's the output for the LED, right?